A U.S. Marine Corps veteran has killed at least 12 people, including a sheriff's deputy, at a crowded bar in a suburb of Los Angeles. Ventura County Sheriff Geoff Dean has named the suspect who was killed as Ian Long. Dean said that the shooter appeared to have shot at least randomly using only a Glock handgun that was not known motive. Top Democrats have warned that with the President Donald Trump firing U.S. Attorney General, the Russia inquiry could be under threat. Democratic House Leader Nancy Pelosi called the decision a blatant attempt to end the investigation. The Democrats who captured the House of Representatives in midterm polls have vowed to protect it. Special counsel Robert Mueller is looking into allegations of Russian meddling in the 2016 elections. British Foreign Minister Jeremy Hunt has said securing a Brexit deal was incredibly complicated and it was probably pushing it to expect one within the next 7 days. Prime Minister Theresa May is stepping up British efforts to garner European support for a draft deal as negotiations on securing a smooth divorce from the European Union, the world's biggest trading bloc, enter their final stages. But a major hurdle is an agreement over a plan to ensure no hard border emerges on the island of Ireland. Ireland's Foreign Minister Simon Coveney has cautioned that it would be wrong to assume that any consensus within the British government meant that an agreement had been clinched. He said he would urge caution that an imminent breakthrough is not necessarily to be taken for granted, not by a long shot. As the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I draws near, bomb disposal experts are still digging up munitions sunk in the killing fields of eastern France. And it could be another 100 years before they are done. Last week, a pair of scuba divers plunged into the chilly waters to the ropes around the dozens of shells buried in the riverbed before a crane dragged and carefully lifted a string of rusted ordnance into the grassy bank. In 1 day's work, more than 5 tons of unexploded shells were dredged from a river, an unusually large haul. A complex network of tunnels houses the memories of the thousands of World War I soldiers who left their mark on the walls of the Froidmont quarry located near the northeastern French town, not far from the scene of the horrific Second Battle of the Aisne. Over 1,000 inscriptions and drawings and carvings can be found on the limestone walls of the tunnels, which stretch over 20 kilometers and become a refuge for French and American soldiers. American nurses and non-combatants who serve alongside soldiers fighting on the front lines during World War I remembered along the soldiers buried in Syria American Cemetery, which is expected to be visited by U.S. President Donald Trump during centenary celebrations on Sunday. The cemetery, sitting on the top of the hillside looking out onto the Parisian landscape, makes a peaceful resting place for more than 1,500 U.S. casualties buried in the cemetery, as well as 20 unidentified World War I soldiers. According to Pakistan government sources, Christian woman Asia Bibi, who spent 8 years on death row for alleged blasphemy, has been reunited with her family after being freed from women's jail in Multan. Pak government sources say they can't reveal the location of Asia Bibi owing to security threats to her life from Islamist hardliners. Earlier, Pakistan Foreign Minister in office said that Asia Bibi is a free citizen, but did not clarify on whether she is free to leave the country. Held in private collections for more than 200 years, jewellery that once belonged to France's ill-fated queen, Marie Antoinette, has gone on display in Geneva ahead of its planned auction on November 14th. The jewels are expected to fetch over $4 million. The jewellery pieces are part of an exhibition entitled Royal Jewels from the Bourbon-Parma family that also includes other items from the storied dynasty's rich history. The French Queen's jewels include a 49-carat natural pearl and diamond pendant, as well as necklaces and brooches. Experts believe that Turkey is not likely to conduct further military operations in Syria due to the U.S. influence. Regardless of the continuing friction between Turkish security forces and Kurdish forces in the country, Turkey has recently been active in the eastern region along the river, with Turkey and US launching joint patrols in northern Syria since the start of the month. Turkey previously shelled an area controlled by the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Army in October. A 25-year-old Sri Lankan man who was cleared last month of terror charges in Australia has slammed police for what he said was immature professional behavior. Mohammed Nizamuddin, who was on a student visa in Australia, landed back home in Sri Lanka to a relief gathering of friends and family. Nizamuddin was arrested in Sydney in August and charged with preparing a terror offence. On October 19, the Australian Joint Counter-Terrorism Team released a statement saying charges had been withdrawn because of handwriting irregularities. Farmers in New South Wales braced themselves for a sandstorm that swept across much of the region, bringing with it a wall of dust that engulfed the towns. A video of the sandstorm showed dust surrounding a sign and cattle station in southern New South Wales. Walls of dust came ahead of the thunderstorms that only provided a meager 5 to 15 millimeters of rain. A statue of Israeli culture and sports minister Miri Regev, resembling Snow White, has been erected in Tel Aviv. Amid protests, the statue depicts Regev dressed in a white dress, standing in front of a large mirror next to a sign reading, "At the heart of the nation." The event apparently is in protest against a loyalty bill which passed a first reading this week in National Legislature of Israel. The leader of the opposition in Australia's most populous state resigned after he was embroiled in a #MeToo row when a female reporter released a statement detailing alleged inappropriate behaviour. The New South Wales State Labour Party leader Luke Foley denied allegations made by the journalist and said that he was resigning as party leader 4 months before a state election he had been in a position to win. Water sprinklers were pressed into service to combat smog and dust as Delhi residents complained of eyes watering and aggravated coughs a day after Diwali. The festival of Diwali left New Delhi residents to cope with alarming levels of air pollution after smog from a night of fireworks engulfed the Indian capital. Meanwhile, doctors have advised people to venture out only when necessary. CBI Director Alok Verma met Central Vigilance Commissioner K.V. Chaudhary to deny the corruption charges that his Deputy and Special Director Rakesh Asthana levelled against him. According to officials, Rakesh Asthana also met the CVC and Vigilance Commissioner. Earlier on October 26, the Supreme Court had directed the Central Vigilance Commission to complete their probe into the allegations levelled by Asthana against Alok Verma within 2 weeks. One CISF Jawan and 4 others had been killed in an axle attack in Chhattisgarh's Dantewara district. 2 other personnel were injured in the attack where a CISF bus was targeted near Bacheli in Dantewara. This is the third such attack in Chhattisgarh within a span of 2 weeks. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is scheduled to visit the state today to address a rally ahead of the November 12th elections. Diamond traders in Gujarat's Surat city have claimed a steep fall in the export of the polished precious stones owing to the ongoing US-China trade war. They claim that the devaluation in the currency of China, Bangkok and Hong Kong, which constitute 50% of their clients for polished diamonds, has directly hit businesses, especially gold and diamonds based in India. US President Donald Trump has imposed billions of dollars in import tariffs on Chinese goods, accusing Beijing of unfair trade practices. Forest officials in Prayagraj, city of Uttar Pradesh, rescued an endangered pangolin and arrested 5 smugglers. Police had been trying to nab active smugglers in the area, and the arrests were made after they received information about their presence. The accused were planning to smuggle the endangered species of pangolin out of the country. An investigation into the matter is underway as of now. A giant panda and golden monkeys frolicked around excitedly in the snow-covered Shenanigans National Park in China's Hubei province as the first snowfall of the winter enveloped their homes. The flurry of snow turned the park into a white wonderland for the animals, but the cold snap didn't seem to bother one giant panda who leisurely rolled around in the snow. The panda seemed thoroughly amused with the appearance of snow in his enclosure as he playfully strolled among the bushes. Japanese professional rope skipper Heiji Ikuyama has broken a new record by doing 24 skips in 30 seconds in the more challenging Mamba rope release style, beating his previous record of 22 skips. Ikuyama attempted to break his other record of the most double under crossovers while skipping backwards in 30 seconds, but failed to renew the previous record of 66 skips. Earlier this year, he also set a new jump rope record of the most number of jumps in 24 hours. A Chinese teenage boy has broken a world record for the fastest time to solve 3 Rubik cubes simultaneously with both hands and feet. The 13-year-old from Jianmen in southeast China completed the record time in a minute of and 30 seconds, 39 seconds in fact. A Guinness World Record said it had no record of any previous such attempts, so the boy's record can be considered both the first and the fastest of its kind to be witnessed by a AGWR adjudicator.